but only 6 of these were used in the first 2 films. There's what it looked like in the first film, the proper Ford Falcon body, and then they turned it into this for the second film to give it a much more futuristic taste. There's only 2 that exist in America. Mel Gibson owns 1, we have the other. The other 4 went back to Australia, or so they thought. Reports say only 3 had arrived. Ever since then, the entire country of Australia has been trying to get their cars back. This one was left abandoned in a garage here in Florida, fully restored by a gentleman who's a fan of the movie, and then the other one's still owned by Mel Gibson. Well, we had a fun little auction happening with this car in September of 2021. This was put up for auction at $2.3 million. Give you some perspective, it's currently worth $3.8 million. 4.2 if Mr. Desert bumps it up again. Well, when we put it up for auction, it only reached $1.8 million. There was a reserve on it for 2 even, but it never reached that. So, about a month later, someone came in, offered 2.2, which is $100,000 less than this was done. He lived in Texas. Mr. Desert turned him back, because he wasn't getting his actual money for it. Then someone came in who lived in Kansas, owns a website called madmaxcars.com, offered the 2.3. That's who Mr. Desert bumped it up to 2.5. Well, the next person that came in is what made everything so much more enjoyable about this car. For himself, Chris Hemsworth came here with his brother to buy this car. 2.5 was what it was at. Mr. Desert bumped it up to 2.8. They offered the 2.8, raised it back up to 3.2. Because at that point, he found out it's not the Hemsworth brothers buying the car, it's they're representing the entire country of Australia. Although, knowing Chris Hemsworth, he would personally buy the car just to have it. He actually is a fan of these cars. Well, they debated, refused to offer 3.2, but ever since then it's bumped up 2 more times, which is why it's currently at 3.8. The best part is the engine. So inside the series, or inside the movie series, there's a couple of scenes where he's inside the car and he flicks a switch, and that turns on the supercharger. Now, realistic mechanics, that's not how superchargers and blowers work. You do not flip the switch. And he knows what I'm talking about. Well, what makes it interesting is I'm about to put my hand to show you why that doesn't make sense. Everything from my hand up is actually fake. It is not real. This is all screen prop. So, reality, the engine actually starts underneath it. But regardless, it's still an iconic piece. One of the cars has been a bit more upgraded. It was designed to actually push about, I was told, 550 horsepower. Currently that car maybe pushing about 360, 370. So this one, other than what's on top, is still slightly stock. There are some modifications to it. So it's still one of my favorite cars.